Flash. Get well soon, Flash. He's out with a cold tonight, man. He's out, but hey, we can't wait to have you back. But you cannot replace a Flash. But if you're going to bring anybody else on the show in order to sit in for him, you got to bring in Broad Sport from Philadelphia. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm here to play the token white boy for Flash tonight, but
Yeah, we brought the right guy on. We brought the right guy.
but no, I'm excited. I've been talking with BRF for what is it, at least like 5-6 weeks now
Yeah.
to
At least 5-6 weeks you've been wanting to get on.
something up to get on this show, and we finally here. Usually BRF comes every now and then, say what shape. I'm usually over on our guy Brady from the Blocks show, the Throwdown on Monday nights, but I think it's not happening tonight. Hopefully it's tomorrow night, and I'm here.
Yes, indeed, man. Hey, look, it's good to have you here, man. We've got a hardcore Philadelphia Eagles fan right now. Look, Jalen Hurts just made the Pro Bowl. And for those people who are going to say, well, the Pro Bowl doesn't mean anything, remember that a third of the Pro Bowl votes come from players and coaches. It doesn't just come from the fans. A third of them comes from players and coaches, a third of them comes from the media, and only a third of them comes from the fans. So this guy, Jalen Hurts, is in the Pro Bowl right now. I got to ask you this question, man, before we start the show off with Super Bowl week. How do you feel about the new offensive coordinator that y'all just hired? You being a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
I really, honestly, I really don't know much about his scheme. All I know is that the Packers excuse my stutter, ran way less hitch routes than the Eagles. So everyone's saying that that's a positive because I think the Eagles were first in hitch routes last season, and the Packers were second to last in hitch routes. So who knows?
All right. Do y'all think y'all could go back to a bowl anytime soon with this revolving door of offensive coordinators that you guys have coming in? Like, it's been a revolving door. It's been one every year, I would say. So with this revolving door, how do y'all get back to the Super Bowl at this point in time?
I mean, anything's possible. I mean, look at the Patriots. First year head coach, not first time, but first year head coach Mike Vrabel brought in all the right pieces. They spent the most money in the offseason to build up their team, and they're going to the Super Bowl. So anything can happen. It all just depends on if your system works or not.
Okay. All right. Hey, I will say this. I don't think Jalen Hurts, in my humble opinion, gets enough credit because the last guy that we know that had that many revolving doors as a coordinator is Cordell Stewart. I think he had like 5 and 6 years.
Yeah.
So for him to even be able to get to an AFC championship with that revolving door, that was nothing short of a miracle. Not to mention he had a new quarterback coach every single year as well. So when you look at the revolving door of coaches, as far as the offensive coordinator is concerned, it is somewhat amazing how they keep winning. And for those people who are going to keep saying, well, coordinators doesn't matter. If you have to hit on everything, then you're not very good. Half of the coaches that were in the playoffs this year were former coordinators. And look how badly their team suffered when they lost them. Look at Chicago when they got Ben Johnson. Look at how the Detroit Lions suffered. Look at how badly the Baltimore Ravens suffered after they lost Mike McDonald. And look how that defense in Seattle is thriving. So for those people who are going to keep saying that coordinators don't matter, a lot of these coordinators were in the NFC Championship and the playoffs this year. More than half of them were coordinators. More than half of them were up for Coach of the Year this year. Remember, Liam Cohen's up for Coach of the Year this year. Mike McDonald's up for Coach of the Year this year. Both of those guys are former coordinators. They're former coordinators. So for those people who are going to, Ben Johnson's up for Coach of the Year. So for everybody who's going to keep saying that coordinators do not matter, whether it be on the offense or the defensive side, you're really not being genuine when you say that. Because half of the Coach of the Year candidates outside of Kyle Shanahan are former coordinators and they just became first-time head coaches. So that's the amazing job that this team has done as far as Philadelphia Eagles are concerned, not to mention Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. Because when you have a revolving door right like that, it's hard to keep buying into different philosophies and different playing style. one coach might want to keep it on the ground and play ground chuck offense. The other one might want to air it out like a ceiling fan. So for the Eagles to keep winning like this and keep contending in the playoffs, that's the short of amazing. So we got to give credit where credit is due and stop being disingenuous as sports fans at this point in time. And shout out to our guy Brandon from the block, my little brother from North Carolina. A big shout out to Brandon from the block, bringing us all together in the group chat. Shout out to the chat as well. Shout out to Trent, Harrison, Sports PSP, Louise, everybody, man. Shout out to all of you guys, man. Brilliant individuals. So, look,
Absolutely.
Super Bowl week. In the great words of Chuck D, here it is. Bam. And you say, hot damn, this is a dope jam. Man, describe the excitement of Super Bowl week, man.
Hey man, this is in terms of sports, man. It's one of the most exciting weeks of the year. I mean, it's the biggest game. It's the biggest game the NFL has to offer. This is everything. This is the chip. I mean, nothing beats this. I mean, you're gonna have people coming from all over the world to this game. That's why we can't afford them damn high ass tickets, because everybody coming from which and where to come and see this game. But I mean, it's 2 weeks of just anticipation, build up, everybody talking, everybody's like, oh man, what he got to do to win this, what he got to do here, what he got to do here. It's just build up, and it's just fun. And then when that game hits, you sitting with your family or your friends or whoever you with, you got food and drinks to the nines, and you just enjoying yourself and having a good time, man. I feel like this is like, I think for me, Super Bowl week is up there with March Madness is up, March Madness, and like just got, honestly, there's a lot of really really good like times as far as like sports is involved that I know I'm not even naming. Like like Olympics is coming around again, World Cup's going to be coming around again. I mean, just the Super Bowl ranks up there among the best times of the year in terms of sports. I feel like in terms of pro sports, you really can't beat Super Bowl week. So I mean, this is one of those, like, it's all about the build up, and it's about the excitement. So us being football fans, we gearing up ready for it, regardless of whether our team's in it or not. And I think that's also one of the best things about the Super Bowl, regardless of whether your team makes it or not. Everybody gonna be glued in on that TV Sunday night to watch that game, because everybody's got an opinion on who they think gonna win. So
Yeah.
nothing beats it. I mean, you can't. You're not gonna get that kind of excitement with a lot of other events. So come on, man. The Super Bowl is like top tier.
How describe how it feels for you, Broad? You've been there twice in the past couple of years with your team, man. How does it feel, on Super Bowl week?
It's like nerve wracking. It's also exciting. Obviously, none of us are within any bracket to afford going to these games, especially flying out west to California. But like, I a lot of the excitement what BRF was saying, because it's also like people will take off that whole weekend where, okay, the game's on Sunday, we're gonna fly in Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, we're just gonna take our time and explore the city that it's in, especially if you've never been there before. You're like, because last year was in New Orleans, people were like, oh, let's go to Bourbon Street, French Quarter, this, that. So I have a feeling that the tourism in San Fran is gonna be high this weekend, whether it's going to the Full House, the Golden Gate Bridge, the Godiva Square. And it's just nervous because sometimes you're like, I'm really confident. And then other times you're like, oh my God, this is so nerve wracking. Let's just get this shit over with. Now, if you were to ask me on a scale of 1 to 10 how excited I am for this Super Bowl, honestly, I got to put it at like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because I'm happy that Seattle made it back for the first time in 11 years, but the fact that we got to see those stuck up New England fans in the Super Bowl again makes me sick. We suffered for so long. Wow, only 3 straight
3 years.
of not making the playoffs. Wow, you missed 4 playoffs in 6 years and you suffered.
Ooh, whoop-de-doo. Okay.
Meanwhile, ask the Jets, and they haven't been to a playoff game since I was in 5th grade.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Sanchez says hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, but he I think he right beside a cell, right beside Carlos later, I think. But
Or even ask Miami Dolphins fans who haven't won a playoff game since I don't even think I was born yet. I think it was like 4 months before I was born.
no, they haven't won since the only time that they went to the playoff. They had that bullshit Wildcat offense and they was running, and then after that it was just pretty
And
much
Ray
over
Lewis smacked them around.
with. So that was it.
That was
After
an
that was
unfortunate
pretty much it.
situation.
So look, it's a brilliant. Hey man, Super Bowl week is always a very very exciting week. The food, the drinks, the women, everything. It's just a great week. And
You know, Champ got to bring that up, bro. You know,
Oh
Champ
yeah,
got to
we
bring
know.
that up, bro. You know he got to bring that up.
but, hey, on another note, man, look, if I start saving money now, $10,000 a ticket. You know, I can go to the Georgia Dome when they had and sit in the nosebleeds when they had the Super Bowl here in Atlanta.
Super Bowl 60, Super Bowl 62.
Yeah, it's gonna be in Atlanta. But if I start saving my money now, I could get out there and have a little tailgate party.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We might get tailgate.
Like a tailgate party.
You might be able to tailgate.
We might get tailgate.
I mean, you gotta save the paper up, and we know your personality. Like in the group chat, you gotta resist, Chocolate Hefner. You gotta resist.
Hey man, look, man. Hey man. Hey, you go to Chocolate City, you gotta bring the chocolate with you. I'm just gonna be real. But I digress. Hey, imagine how painful it is for 49ers fans though. Your division rival is playing on your home floor. What in the hell?
Who cares? Why would we sympathize San Francisco 49ers fans? Who cares?
Hey man, shout out to my father, man. He's a 49ers fan. If you could imagine how it was, because my
Last
mom's
time the Seahawks were in the Super Bowl, they were in Arizona.
Yep. Hey.
And the Cardinals were a halfway decent team then, so it's like,
yeah. Yeah, there was a house divided in my house growing up.
I mean, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl in the Raiders Stadium.
Damn, that hurts. Hey, that's the same. That's why New Orleans was so damn mad when that pass interference call didn't happen. They wanted to come to Atlanta trying to win the Super Bowl, but nope.
So let's be honest. They probably would have known that Saints team, especially hopefully. That would have been way better than the game that we got, aka the worst Super Bowl of all time.
Oh gosh,
I've seen worse. I remember I saw the Bills Super Bowl back when they played the Dallas Cowboys.
I ain't as old as, or I'm of the younger generation. I rephrase my statement. I am of the younger breed. So for me, that one is the worst that I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm older than Champ. That Super Bowl was the worst Super Bowl I've ever seen. That one with the Patriots and the Ram in Atlanta.
Really?
Yes. That was the worst. That's the worst.
It was the Bills. I thought it was the Bills versus the Cowboys because they
because
the Bills got their ass whooped when they went to the Cowboys.
No, because I feel like even in blowout situations like the 49ers killing the Broncos, even when a Super Bowl is a blowout, there's still an exciting element. At least on one side of the field, because you're seeing a bunch of offense. So when there's a blowout, whether it's the defense dominating or the offense, there's still an exciting part of that game. A game like the Patriots Rams, there was nothing exciting about that game.
No, not at all.
There was nothing. And it's funny though, because I remember that Super Bowl because that was the year the Rams beat the Saints in the NFC Championship game, because that was that's the infamous PI game. And Saints fans all week was like, man, we're going to win the NFC Championship is in Atlanta. We're going to come down. We're going to take over your city. We're going to walk down Peachtree and da-da-da-da-da-da. And as soon as the Rams won that game, I just posted a Facebook post. I was like, yeah, I don't feel sorry for y'all at all.
But it's also like when you reflect back on that Super Bowl, why did I get it, Edelman had like 10 catches for 140, but dog, Stephon Gilmore should have won the Super Bowl MVP that year. I mean, he had, I think, 4 pass breakups. He had an interception in that game.
I think when you're looking at it, if you're looking at game impact, I probably would have given it to Stephon Gilmore, but I understand why Julian Edelman got it. I would have given it to Stephon Gilmore personally, but I understand why Julian Edelman won it.
But it's also like the reason why it was terrible in that game was because they also came off two bangers that are arguably, I mean, definitively for me, they're both top probably 5 or 3. Because you had that 4 year period where three of those four Super Bowls were like top 5 Super Bowls of all time. Super Bowl 49,
Mm,
Super Bowl 51, Super Bowl 52. Obviously, I'm biased. I think 52 is the best of all time. Not even because the Eagles won, it's because of all the records that happened within that game. Like the total yards record got broke. There was a scoregami in the Super Bowl. When can you say that? Tom Brady broke a playoff game record of 505 passing yards in a losing
in a
effort.
losing effort.
Receiver, he had 3 receivers over 120 plus receiving yards in that game. And then you had Nick Foles who threw for like 370 in that game. And it came down to the crucial Brandon Graham strip sack. Yeah, Deron Harmon caught the interception earlier in the game, but that proved no matter. But yeah,
Gotta ask y'all something real quick before we get into this week's Super Bowl. Who had the greatest performance in Super Bowl history?
I mean you could argue Tom Brady in Super Bowl 52.
You can.
Losing up.
Let's see.
Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen, one of the most iconic runs in Super Bowl history, and he won the Super Bowl MVP. And don't forget Doug Williams, 5 touchdowns. I think it was 5 touchdowns in 1 quarter. 5 touchdowns in 1 quarter out there just throwing darts. I mean, yeah, that one. I mean, and the thing is, you can argue that Super Bowl when he won the Super Bowl, Doug Williams, it was a double whammy because remember Timmy Smith rushed for over 200 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, he rushed for over 200 yards. So
Yeah, like Tom Brady in Super Bowl 52, 28 of 48, 505 touchdowns, 505 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
yeah, I knew this one was coming right here. Yeah, 28-3. Knew
Nah.
that one.
Heard
But
that one before.
No, that
greatest
one.
Super Bowl performance. I'm trying to keep it relative to like what I've seen. That's a really good question.
Ooh, I like Kieran bringing up Steve Young. Super Bowl. What was that? Super Bowl 29. I like him
Yeah,
bringing that up.
29.
Yeah, he had 6 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah.
6 touchdowns. He threw for 6 touchdowns. But I say Doug Williams because he did like 5 1/4. I really believe that. And like I said, you could have if they would have split the MVP between him and Timmy Smith, I probably wouldn't have been mad about it. So
For me, from a dominant standpoint, Jerry Rice against the Broncos. Ooh,
yeah.
that was you. I mean, if you ever want to show tape as far as like a receiver just being at like just what do they call it now? What the kids call it now? Gosh, what the kids call it now? Flow mode or whatever however they call it nowadays. That was Jerry Rice against the Denver Broncos in that Super Bowl. That was just, and I know Joe Montana was like damn near perfect in that game, but Jerry Rice was like, Denver couldn't cover that man to save their lives in that game. That was ridiculous. That was crazy.
I'm gonna be honest. Y'all two Atlanta fans ain't gonna like what I have to say. I'm not gonna say it is the greatest, but one of the greatest performances in the Super Bowl, at least in recent memory. It's got to be James White in Super Bowl 51. I mean, three or four second half touchdowns.
Yeah, you definitely have to say James White.
Um,
Honestly, when you look at it too from the other side, Grady Jarrett 3 sacks.
yeah. I think the greatest player who not win a Super Bowl MVP who should have was
Larry
back
Fitzgerald.
in the '96 Super Bowl. I think Reggie White should have won the Super Bowl MVP.
You also could I mean, yes, his team lost, but you could argue that he could have won Super Bowl 43 MVP because of how dominant he was in that game.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitz.
Yeah. Yep. Yes.
I mean, it was 7 receptions, 126 yards, 2 tutties.
Yep.
Like his 62-yard touchdown to give the Cardinals the lead is one of the most forgotten plays in NFL history.
I think from a wide receiver, we've seen great wide receiver performances in the playoffs. I think that Larry Fitzgerald run is the greatest wide receiver playoff run ever. I think it's the greatest ever. Like that, I mean, having to come, basically having to come from the wild card, run the table, and just destroying everybody that was in front of him. That was
because they beat rookie Matt Ryan in the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
In the divisional, so the Eagles beat the Giants. Who did they beat in that divisional?
The divisional, they beat.
That was the Aaron
That was
Rodgers.
Green Bay. Yeah,
That was the
divisional
Aaron
was
Rodgers.
Green Bay,
Yeah.
and then the NFC Championship, he torched Carolina.
No, NFC Championship. That was no. You confused it with 2015, dog. Because 08 NFC Championship, that was Philly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was Philly.
Okay, yeah, that was Philly. That was Philly.
Donovan
No, wait, that's
McNabb's
right.
one of
That's right.
I'm
You're
gonna
right. That
double
was
check
Philly.
that because
That was Philly.
that Packers game that you're thinking of, that was 2015.
Okay.
So
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Falcon. They beat the Falcons in the wild card.
yeah,
Okay, Philly was the NFC title. Which was the divisional?
they beat Carolina.
Carolina was a divisional. Yeah, Carolina was a divisional. That's right. So, yeah, I mean that was some type of run, and then to put the cherry on top, even though they didn't win it, 126 against Pittsburgh,
But it's
and
also,
that was like. I hate to say like peak, early Mike Tomlin was peak Mike Tomlin, but I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, that was Pete Mike Tomlin.
But it's also like one of the craziest parts of him beating the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl was supposedly the Eagles and Cardinals before the 2008 season were already in agreement that Larry Fitz was going to get traded there, and he said no.
Yeah, that was the funniest part about it. It was a real funny part about it because they was about to give up a lot of give up some draft cake. Can you imagine Larry Fitzgerald with Donovan McNabb?
And bro, they probably would have won their first Super Bowl before 52.
Yeah, they probably would have.
Yeah, I think they would have been a very good one. Yeah,
Hell,
and plus he wouldn't have had to deal with 1/3 of the drama he had to deal with T.O. I understand that a lot of other things happened with T.O. as well when Donovan played his role on that as well, but I don't think he would have had to deal with drama because Larry Fitzgerald was one of the most unselfish guys you ever want to hear or want to see. So look, outside of broad sports, we missed a Flash. So it takes more than just one to replace a Flash, man. So I went into my back pocket and I bought somebody else on here. The world famous kid.
We got the hammer in the building.
Yes.
His camera's on. Holy shit.
We got
What's up,
we got the
guys?
hammer in the building.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here. It's glad to talk sports with Champ and BRF. I always talk to Broad on Monday, and pleasure to be here, man. Love it here.
Yes, indeed, man. Hey, man, look, if y'all don't know who Kieran is, man, he's one of the best analysts over at
Dog Mondays.
Dog Mondays. He's one of their best up and coming analysts. If you get a chance, go follow him. Brilliant man. One of the smartest men I've ever ran into as far as sports. This guy's smarter than I am. And
his troll videos are so epic.
This guy's smarter than I am. So
If you got
follow.
So before we move on, I just made some commentary videos. It's about Skip Bayless. I recommend you check it out. They are hilarious.
Skip.
Y'all
gonna hit me tomorrow, Skip Bayless.
You know what? I gotta say this because First Take was on in the barbershop, and him and I forget the other guy. It was like the noon segment when they're on ESPN2. I forget the other dude that that Stephen A was chopping it up with. Both of them were speaking loud. Where it's like just because both of y'all are speaking loud doesn't mean that either one of you is right, and it also gave up the vibe of the way that they were speaking to each other. All right, meet me in the parking lot after this.
Look, speaking of Skip Bayless, I feel like that he bounced back perfectly. Having him, Aqib Talib, and at times Richie Incognito, and guys like that, I think he bounced back perfectly. I mean, it's kind of like them having a real candid conversation on there, and I think that he bounced back real good. It was a good bounce back party, and I think he's keeping himself in check because he realized there's a lot of volatile personalities on that damn panel as well. Because Aqib Talib, he'll fight anybody. And Richie. No, I'm serious. Hell, look at him.
You're right.
I'm sorry. Every time I hear Aqib Talib's name, man, that was a great play, man. like just his awful commentary. My God.
So, I mean, I never forget what he told Jay Gruden when he was on there. Your head coach makes me throw up. So that was a fun, which it makes me throw up too because I mean, because Jay Gruden garbage. You talk about a nepo baby.
Oh my
That was
God,
him.
Nepo brother.
Yeah,
Really?
nepo baby. That was him. Dwayne DC, what's going on? Hey, look, Kieran, you're a two-time you're a bit in this generation. You're a two-time Super Bowl champion. How do you feel about the Super Bowl?
I think people are underrating this Super Bowl matchup. Personally, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I do think Seattle objectively is the better team. However, though, I do think out of the matchups they had in the playoffs so far, I definitely think Seattle has had the easier path, especially the 49ers completely depleted. I'm just talking about defensively, compared to their offense, by the way. Pass rush completely depleted. The Rams secondary, we know they've had trouble. The one matchup I'm very looking forward to, and I made a TikTok about this, it's Anthony Bradford versus Milton Williams. If Milton Williams wins that matchup, the New England definitely has a shot in this game. However, if Anthony Bradford has a really good game like he did against the Rams, it might be a long day for New England. They're going to have to get interior pressure on Sam Darnold to win this game. Because under pressure, Sam Darnold's been really, really good. He went 5-11 for 101 yards, 3 touchdowns under pressure against the Rams. New England can't let that happen. If Sam Darnold gets going, it's going to be easier for Kenneth Walker. It's going to be easier for JSN. It's going to be easier for the overall defense that won't be out on the field for most of the time. They're going to have the best pressure day against Sam Darnold. And I honestly, with the duo they have with Barmore and Milton Williams, they could definitely do it. And Mike Vrabel is a great coach. They absolutely have the key pieces to slow down this Seattle's offense. So as for the offense for New England, I'm not really expecting much. This is another tough defense that they're going to have to face. And they don't have unfortunately, Josh McDaniels is not Sean McVay. He's just not. He's a solid OC, but I don't know. It's going to be very tough to score on the Seattle's defense if you don't have the offensive talent that the Rams did. So
I think another big matchup has got to be Tariq Woolen versus himself, because if he did what he did in the NFC game, doing his best Eli Apple impression.
Tariq Woolen, I've always said this about Tariq Woolen. Crazy athlete. Not the best cornerback. I'll just say that. He also talks a big game, and he usually never backs it up. So
I thought I was the only one that noticed that.
What corner has talked the big game?
Tariq Woolen's always been like that.
He's always been like that.
He's always been like that.
The only guy that I've ever heard from players that is actually quiet until he gets on the field is Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah, and also I think JSN needs another big game, especially against Christian Gonzalez. This game's going to be fun. I think this game will be really fun.
All right. BRF, what are your keys to victory on this game, man?
Yeah, because I'm actually with Kieran on this from the standpoint that I think, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I personally, from a balanced perspective on both sides of the ball, I think this is the best Super Bowl matchup we could have got. That's how I feel. I think this is the best balanced matchup in terms of each team in the conference. This is the best matchup we could have got. Now, for starters, if y'all haven't already seen it, I have a Keys to Super Bowl 60 audio kind of commentary video that I posted on TikTok about a day or so ago. If y'all haven't checked that out, please do, because I'm practically going to kind of lay out what I said in that video, because I pretty much have 3 keys. Well, I want to lay out the most important keys for each team. If I'm looking at the Seattle Seahawks and I'm looking at how I want to beat the New England Patriots from the offensive side of the ball, it's Kenneth Walker II. He's got to get going in this game, because I laid out a stat. Seattle's most dangerous when they're running play action to perfection. I think Sam Darnold's gonna have the second best passer rating in play action, and he had the 4th most play action yards coming into the playoffs. So Seattle is their best when Kenneth Walker is running, making that safety creep up in the box, and then you can go over the top play action. And then you got JSN, you got JSN, you got Cooper Kupp, you got AJ Barner, who's a very underrated tight end. You got targets you can go over the top, whether they're in man, whether they're in zone, and they can attack. So I feel like Seattle's got to get, you got to get him going early. I feel like this is one of those games where it's really going to be about which team can dictate the tempo and who can control the game early. And I think that really falls on Kenneth Walker's shoulders from the standpoint New England's been really, really good against the run. And I think in the playoffs, I think they're only giving up like 3 yards of carry in the playoffs. Kenneth Walker's got to get going because that New England defense has been swarming. And now, the offenses they've played haven't been the greatest, whether it's injury or inconsistency. But hey, at the end of the day, you play who's in front of you, and New England has they've played their asses off on defense. But so for Seattle, Kenneth Walker's got to get involved. Mm-hmm. And then if you're looking at the New England Patriots, when you're looking at New England, that offensive line has been terrible in the playoffs. They've given up like 15 sacks in like 3 games. Like they've been terrible. And then you get the Seattle Seahawks coming in, who's like one of the best pass rushing defenses in all of football. It ain't gonna get no easier. They gotta keep Drake May upright. I mean, I feel like this is one of those games against a defense like Seattle. They got to get a little more creative. Whether it's like, incorporate play action a little more, incorporate more bootlegs, RPOs. They got to find a way to allow Drake May to be active on his feet, with his feet, move him out the pocket. Kind of in a way, you don't want Drake May operating as a traditional pocket passer against this type of pass rush. You gotta move him out the pocket. You gotta scheme up something this week against a defense like Seattle. You have to. So I'm looking for New England to move Drake May a lot out of the pocket, bootlegs, allow him to throw every so often. I mean, you don't have to do it all the time, but give him opportunities to really do his thing. You got to give him opportunities to do his thing with his legs, because I feel like that's because if you're really giving him opportunities like that, you gotta confuse that defense, and you don't want them just ears pinned back rushing the passer like every other down. You have to really try to you have to confuse them as much as possible, and I think that's really important for New England to really win this game. I feel like those are really like my 2 biggest things. Because my thing is like with New England's running game, I'm really not expecting much from the running game this week. I'm not, because I love how Seattle plays defense. They don't have to bring 8 in the box to stop the run. They're good with a 7-man front stopping the run. So
that's what happens when you get Mike McDonald, man.
Exactly. Yeah. Trust me, Baltimore misses him by the minute.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They miss him by the minute. So
the last thing I'll say,
I'll let him say, and then I'll say.
I didn't mention Will Campbell. Will Campbell, if the Patriots are going to have a chance in this game, Will Campbell, you don't have to. I'm not asking him to play like the best like tackle ever. You gotta play better than you have this entire playoff run. It's been getting, man, Daniil Hunter. He put that man in a box. Like
Nick Benito, pretty much.
Nick Benito too. Like it was really bad. Like,
but here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna tell you 2 impact players on both teams.
Mm-hmm.
So for the Patriots, obviously it's gonna be Drake May, because Drake May has played mid at best the entire postseason.
Being generous.
Yeah, being generous. We can scratch off the Chargers game as like his first game, blah, blah, blah. Both these guys are inexperienced quarterbacks in the playoffs, but Sam Darnold's been cooking. Drake May has been, because like the divisional. I disagree with Dre right there. Make Darnold throw. Darnold's been great this postseason.
He's been great under pressure this year.
Been great under pressure.
But with Drake May, he played a terrible game against the Texans. He did.
I agree.
Like, the stats are very misleading. Oh, he had 3 touchdowns. What are you talking about, bro? Yeah, he had the same amount of turnovers. He fumbled the ball 4 times and lost 2 of them. The Patriots got lucky that C.J. Stroud was doing his best Rich Gannon impression from the Super Bowl. Why they moved on.
What happened?
Well, I was just talking about how C.J. Stroud was terrible in that game and that he threw 4 interceptions. So he was doing a Rich Gannon impression, like how Rich Gannon threw 5 picks in the Super Bowl against Tampa. But, and then we can say this and that about Bo Nix being hurt. Bro, Jared Stidham outplayed you.
Yeah, he did.
Like, you look at that stat line. Me and Kieran talked about this last week on Brandon's show.
Yeah.
Like, that stat line, everyone's defending him. God forbid that was someone like Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott. Those guys would get crucified for that stat line.
I agree. I just think, like, right now, like, I hate talking about this, but, like, everyone says that Josh Allen has great PR. I don't think they would go to the level of saying that Josh Allen's been great after he threw 86 passing yards in the AFC Championship game. That's all I'm going to say.
No, I don't think. No, I would pray. I would pray they wouldn't go that far. But yeah,
Now,
like
You will be
seeing
surprised.
the takes. Well, the couple of videos I've seen in particular that are like trying to defend Drake May to the gods is like we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that.
But
I mentioned it multiple times. Rod, you know this.
Yeah.
You guys probably know this too. Drake May is my favorite quarterback right now. And as a Drake May Glazer, I have to keep it acknowledged when one of my favorite quarterbacks doesn't play great. He didn't play good. And I understand people are going to say, oh, the supporting cast is men. I think it's a little overblown. Stephon Diggs is really still good.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs has been playing pretty good.
Josh McDaniels, even though we crap on him as a head coach, he's still a good OC. We're not going to, like, disrespect Josh McDaniels. Keyshawn Moody's looks solid.
Yeah.
Say what you want. Like, he's been a good number 2 this year.
Mario Douglas has been solid. Hunter Henry has been very good for him.
I just think, like, this whole Drake May stuff is just getting annoying because he's a second-year player. He's not, like, a veteran yet. And this is what happens with second-year players that go far that don't really play that great. It probably happened with Tom Brady in 2001. They gave him a lot of credit when he probably didn't deserve it. Just
Me.
Well, that was also because of the tuck rule, but yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and not only that, they're always going to strap the turbo booster to the quarterback's ass and say, "Hey, he's the reason why they got there." They're going to always do that. I mean, unfortunately for everybody. And look, you got to remember, man, America's sweet. Look, the Duke University of the NFL is back in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
We did all of that praying on the downfall of the Kansas City Chiefs because of the Swifties and things of that nature, only for the evil empire to come back to the fold.
Oh, God, don't you that's disrespectful to Drake May, calling them the Duke, yet he's a Carolina Tar Heel.
I did that on purpose.
Disrespectful to Drake May.
Yo, Brad's about to be bad on that one.
I also do want to say this. My impact player for the Seahawks, I think you guys might be a little bit shocked by this, in my personal opinion, because it's not K9, it's not Sam Darnold. To me, it's A.J. Barner.
Okay.
I like that though.
Because you look at the NFC Championship, yes, JSN was cooking, but they were trying to take him away. They were trying to take Shaheed away, so he had to become that outlet guy in the third and fourth quarter because they also taken away K9 in flats and screens.
Mm-hmm.
So he's really got to step up and be that outlet guy when all of his his first 3 options are taken away.
I agree. Yeah, like it comes down to like if they take away K9, they take out JSN. Who's going to be? Is it going to be Barner or Cooper Kupp? It should be Barner, because I'm kind of worried about Cooper Kupp in this Super Bowl in general. I'm not really sure if he's going to have an impact like he did last game. But
imagine if Jake Bobo scores a Super Bowl touchdown or Elijah.
That'll be like the MBS score 2 years ago.
Honestly,
saying
Jake Bobo scoring a touchdown would not surprise me at all.
That was
saying that as a joke because, like, the whole thing with the Seahawks when that Sunday night game against Washington for Elijah Arroyo and Jake Bobo, I'm pretty sure both of them had their first career receptions and both of them went for touchdowns in that game. And then Jake Bobo scored in the NFC Championship. And everyone's like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Forgot Jay Bobo existed.
Well, yeah, even Kevin Burkhardt forgot who the fuck he was when you watched. And it's caught Jake Bobo.
My most impact player is Drake May with his legs, just like his legs, not like passing wise, because there's probably gonna be a lot of pressure in this game for Drake May, and he's gonna have to capitalize off that pressure if like the pocket collapses and he. Right, like we were talking about it before, like that play that play, third down, the last play, and he ran for like 10 yards. So,
Oh yeah.
and like, listen, like he had like 70 rushing yards in that game, and it's a big indicator why they won. So,
Okay. Hey, let's get right into it. Who's winning this game? BRF. Since you're the home, since you at home and we have guests, you going first.
All right. Yeah, no, because I got and it's kind of funny too, because like I saw the sword video that you posted, and I'm just like, why the hell this man got me in the Patriots gear? I don't even know if I'm gonna pick them.
That's the best that I can do, damn it.
that's funny. That's hilarious.
You better not be picking the Patriots.
No, the Seahawks for me. No, the Seahawks for me right now. They're playing the better ball on both sides of the. I won't necessarily say both sides of the ball. New England's playing really, really good, but just Seattle for me right now is just they're too balanced of a team right now, and I feel like I think another one of my keys. I think New England has to try to keep this a low scoring game. They can't go blow for blow with Seattle's offense, New England's offense. They can't. They have to try to make this like a 17, 14, 20 to 17 kind of game to win this. If we get into like the high 20s and into the 30s, Seattle's going to be on cloud nine in terms of confidence. And then they're just going to be like pulling things out the hat where you're not going to, it's going to get ugly if you're talking in the 30s. But I'm going to go. I think Seattle's they're playing too good a ball right now. So I'm gonna go Seattle Seahawks here. I'm gonna go. I don't think it's gonna be like high scoring, but I think it's gonna hit a point. I'm gonna go like 20. I'm gonna go like 28-24
I like it.
Seattle. I'm gonna go 28-24. I think because I think the over under is like 46, 47 or something like that. I think they do go over just off
You
of
got
this.
the Patriots covering because
I do. I don't think Seattle's going to blow them out. I think because like what I was talking about with my keys, I think they're going to be able. I think they're going to be able to scheme up things, some good offense with Drake May in terms of using his legs. Like I think there's going to be I think they're going to scheme up a lot of RPOs, a lot of bootlegs. I think they're going to really have him active, like outside of the pocket. They're going to try to get him out the pocket. I don't think they want to play him in too traditional a role as far as a pocket pass is concerned, because Seattle's pass rush is too good. I think they're going to try to get him out the pocket. I just think right now Seattle is playing too good on offense for anybody to really hang on them right now. I'm going to go 28-24 Seattle. Yeah, I do. I think New England's going to cover. I don't think Seattle's going to blow them out. I do think New England's too good to get blown out, but I think Seattle's just better right now.
Okay.
I like it.
You can go next.
All right. So before I say anything, I called this quarterback Sam Bradford, and I'm so disgusted that I called Sam Bradford Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold.
Bradford, that's a touchy subject for me.
Yeah. Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks will win this game. I don't think it'll be high scoring, but I do think they're going to control the clock with Kenneth Walker. I'm not sure. Like, I don't think this Sam Darnold. Like, I don't see Sam Darnold against the Rams. I don't see that. I think he'll have like 200 passing yards, maybe a touchdown. I don't think it'll be crazy for him, and I just don't see New England like outscoring Seattle's offense right now. Even statistically they're the better offense. Like I just don't see it happening. I got Seattle 20-17.
Okay.
So
the thing is, the offense has been underperforming. The defense is the main reason why the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl. However, Seattle is one of, if not the most well-balanced team in the league, and they proved it this season. They have an elite defensive unit. They have a pretty good offense. Obviously, adding Rashid Shaheed really helped out their special teams.
oh my God. If they didn't have him, I don't think they would be in the Rams both times.
No, not at all. But I cannot instinctively pick the New England Patriots because I was at local pizza shop because I live right by Villanova, and Villanova has a lot of New England kids. And one of the kids was saying, "Oh, you got to think about the little kids. They haven't seen it." Your spoiled ass has seen 12 parades across all 4 teams, and your Celtics just won the NBA Finals 2 years ago. we want to talk about a city that is more deserving of this title. It is the city of Seattle, especially following that Game 7 heartbreak in the ALCS against
Facts.
the Blue Jays. I am 100% taking the Seattle Seahawks to win this game. I think that this is gonna be the best defense that Drake May has played. Yeah, he played.
Really?
Yeah, he played Houston, but I mean, let's be honest. Houston's offense is inept.
Yeah.
This is going to be the best, well balanced. Because if we're talking about the cores, this is going to be the best, well balanced team
Mm-hmm.
that he's played in the playoffs, and that's going to be the end of the Patriots. And I do think that the Seahawks dominate this game. If I had to throw out a parlay leg, I will tell you this: I think Drake May 1+ interception. I do think that he throws an interception in this game.
Okay.
I am going to take the Seattle Seahawks 27-13.
Wow.
Okay. Nice.
I just can't see a blowout because like there's not a lot of blowouts
Yeah,
that come in this.
for me, 14 points is not really a blowout. That's more just a normal win at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I think for
14's fine.
for the but I think for the playoffs when it's like the best of the best in the playoffs, if you can beat somebody by 2 touchdowns, for me in the playoffs that's a blowout because when you're considering the best of the best and you can really kind of put your foot into somebody like that and beat them by a couple of touchdowns, that showcases how much better you are than a team in the playoffs. So if they beat them 27-13, I would call me personally in the playoffs. I would call that a beatdown.
Okay.
Well, also it depends. Like for me, like if you're like, so let's say you're up 2 scores for most of the game, that's probably a blowout to me. But like if it's like if they score 20, if they score a touchdown with like 6 minutes left and they're
Yeah, if they get it late,
yeah, like
Here's another thing that I am definitely going to say when it came to picking this. I don't fall for that whole white jersey bullshit that they're 37-22 wearing the team that wore white in the Super
who
Bowl.
cares?
They won 6 out of the last 10 Super Bowls. Yeah, let's see. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl 2 years ago wearing red. The Eagles wore green last year, so the 2 teams that have worn their solid colors the last 2 years have won. So as far as I'm concerned, that's
both of the Eagles championships they wore their green.
Every single Super Bowl that they've been in, they've worn green.
They've worn their green.
The title of this episode is Destiny versus Comeback.
No, I think I don't think that it's a comeback for Sam Darnold. I think for Sam Darnold, it's destiny, and for Drake May, I wouldn't even call it destiny or comeback. I would call it something else. But
The reason why I call it destiny is because look, when you go somewhere, it's kind of like I said, I've compared now not as far as playing style, but I kind of compare his journey to that of Aaron Rodgers and Steve Young. You're following up behind an absolute legend. Everybody's looking at you now to win Super Bowls. It's your destiny to try to win a Super Bowl and try to. You're not now. Number one, you're not going to top what he's done here. I can't see anybody for the foreseeable future winning 6 Super Bowls for a franchise.
Mm.
But it's your absolute destiny in order to at least bring a Super Bowl here for the evil empire.
here's
Here's
where
why I call it a comeback for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, it's so easy to forget his Jets years, his Carolina years. And he's one of the reasons why I say, hey, we got to get out of this mentality of win now mode. Because sometimes you have to develop these guys. And let's be quite honest, we got to stop blaming the quarterback all the damn time when he's a quote unquote bust. Because some of these organizations ain't worth the salt and the bread at a certain point.
I've said that I've been adamant about this. He was very overhated in New York.
I agree. I think Sam Darnold.
New York screwed him, and it's
I talk with Jets fans all the time, right? So I'm very familiar with Sam Darnold and like how like the front office handled Sam Darnold. They think they think Sam Darnold had a better situation than Zach Wilson.
No, not even in the slightest.
Not even close.
Not even close.
First of all, Sam Darnold's coach was Adam Gase.
That's all you got to say right there. You can stop the conversation right there.
His best weapon.
You talking about the man that was? You talking about the man that was on Freebase doing the press conference?
Yeah, his
the
best
man who was
weapon.
Freebase doing the press conference. Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
his best weapon was Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson's not a bad player. However, he's a deep threat. Zach Wilson's best weapon was Garrett Wilson. The problem is, the difference is, Sam Darnold went to situations where they couldn't draft pieces around him to make him a better player. Zach Wilson was drafted pieces around him, even though like the offensive situation still wasn't great. He still had Garrett Wilson. He had Breece Hall, and he was just not good. Like he just straight up wasn't good. Sam Darnold was failed by New York, and people have to understand that.
Yeah.
And he was failed with Carolina.
Yeah. Then he went to David Tepper, who's the worst owner in the league, which really surprises me. You would think someone who comes from Pittsburgh, being one of the marquee franchises in the history of the league, they would have learned something from the Rooneys up there. But he didn't learn anything. He out there throwing drinks on folks like he in the damn club. He throwing drinks on fans and stuff. It's crazy. But when you really but back to what I was saying about a comeback.
Yeah.
But the comeback, this is the greatest comeback story for anybody since Jim Plunkett. It's the greatest one.
I think Nick Foles.
Well, yeah. But I'm talking about Nick Foles wasn't drafted 3rd overall.
That's true. That's true.
Wasn't drafted
I know what you're saying
overall.
I guess in that context, yes.
He wasn't drafted 3rd overall and and they put the hopes and dreams on him in a full franchise. Jim Plunkett was. And for him to come out and finally go to San Francisco and get some coaching, that being from Kyle Shanahan, and for him to go in the first year, win 14 games in Minnesota, then go to another team, win another 14 games, and now you're in a Super Bowl. Yeah. Greatest comeback story, regardless if he wins or loses, greatest comeback story in history. Because no one expected that, number one. And number two, just a couple of years ago, people were telling you and Baker Mayfield to retire. So both of you guys who are part of that draft class have rewritten your story at this point. And like I said, that's the reason why I call it comeback. Destiny is like I say, when it's kind of like you inheriting. When you're in New England, it's kind of like how the 49ers was. You're expected to win Super Bowls. So that's
right. This is where I am going to poke back at you for the destiny thing. Yes, he is expected to win Super Bowls, but like the difference between him, Steve Young, Aaron Rodgers, they immediately took over.
That's true.
Yeah. Drake May is the 5th starting QB for the Patriots since Tom Brady left.
That's true.
Yeah, and none of them did anything.
So he wasn't like immediately given the reins.
Yeah, and none of them did anything.
Rodgers and Steve Young were.
Yeah,
that's true.
But none of them did literally anything in order to say, "Hey, this is a guy we're gonna wrap our arms around and move forward with him." That's the thing.
Mac Jones went to the playoffs his rookie year.
No, I'm talking about something as astronomical as be an MVP candidate and go to a Super Bowl. Mac Jones was not an MVP candidate during his second year.
That's my context, yeah.
You know, he was not that. Now, Mac Jones, come to find out, he was better than a lot of us thought he was, because I'm guilty of it. We just automatically assume because he didn't succeed with Bill that, okay, yeah. But we got to look in the hindsight, you know, when Matt Patricia, the pencil guy who don't know his ass from a hole in the round as far as the offense was concerned, and Joe Brady were his offensive coordinators, then you put things into a little bit more perspective. But that's the reason why I call it comeback versus destiny, because you're expected, the expectation when you're in New England, especially after the Tom Brady era, you're expected to win Super Bowls or at least go to one. My thing is, people don't remember anything prior to the Tom Brady era. Remember Drew Bledsoe, he at least went to a Super Bowl. Steve Grogan, he went to a Super Bowl and faced the 85 Bears. Granted, they lost, but the thing is, your expectation is to get your team at least there to the big dance and at least be that cornerstone of a franchise. And that's what Drake May is doing.
I think what he's trying to say is that, like, Yeah, like he wasn't like the starter after Brady, but like I think fans are gonna have to realize, like, are you truly the guy? Are you truly the next cornerstone? Are you truly the next franchise quarterback? And like he probably is already, because Drake May was great this year. So
Yeah.
you know.
And like I said, the New England loves him. And look, Flash, like I said, I wish Flash was here. Man, shout out to Flash. Get well soon. He's a New England fan, and he says how the New England fans talk in the discourse. You see Drake May's wife in cooking videos. She cooking cookies for the team, and everybody will, making jokes about, well, Giselle never did that for the team and things like that. Yeah, you remember how Flash?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah. So yeah, there's a lot to be, especially when you are a lovable and humble type of guy like Drake
Yeah.
May.
There's
It's
a
like,
there's a
okay,
there's a lot of Drake. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of likable qualities that Drake May is bringing to the table for this franchise. On top of blossoming into an MVP candidate this year, there's a lot to like about him.
You have no idea how much, and I don't even follow these women to begin with, but you have no idea how much of the content.
Bring
Like,
him back.
what up?
Bring him back.
But you don't know how much the content I get from the Eagles wags. That I see all the
yeah, I
girl.
told you I'm not the only one following the wags. Y'all thought I was
I
tripping.
don't follow the wags. They just
You don't
pop up.
follow the wags? I like
Yeah.
following the wags.
It's not that I don't want to follow them. I'm just like, oh, this is kind of cool. But it's also funny because the whole thing about a lot of the wags is like a lot of, at least with the Eagles, a lot of them are coincidentally pregnant at the same time because like Dallas Scott's wife is pregnant, Tanner McKee's wife is pregnant,
Damn.
Reed Blankenship's wife is pregnant. So it's just like everyone's like coincidentally pregnant all at the same time.
Damn. Hey, it's quite ironic when them new contracts come out, they get pregnant almost immediately. But I digress.
Wow.
I digress.
Wow.
Y'all wonder why I said Chant was chocolate Hugh Hefner.
Wow.
I'm just saying, look, that damn ink
Man.
ain't even drowned now. Next day you come out. Next day you know, pick up an ultrasound. I'm just saying.
You know, man.
Did I lie?
As soon
They
as
had
soon
that new
as soon
contract. Then the very next week, they're expecting a child with like next 6 months. They're expecting a child. Yeah, that ink ain't even drowned that damn contract.
you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of one of the Dave Chappelle comedy specials back in the day, the Killing Them Softly, where he was talking about like how was he talking about? He was talking about women, how he's talking about like the women are the test and the cars debate. So when the woman looks at the car, it's like nice car, gotcha, bitch.
But yeah, man. Hey, man.
Fingers.
Tell me a line though, man. They that damn $200 million contract did sign 6 months later. They're expecting. Damn, that was fast.
Boy, they say get in where you fit in, I guess.
I mean, she must have had him in the Cobra clutch, but I got breast. So legacy. Who does this mean? Whose Super Bowl does this mean the most to win the Super Bowl?
Oh, it's got to be
It means the
Seattle.
most to Seattle.
It's got to be Seattle.
And it's not even close, especially
considering. Sorry.
No, it's fine. We just talked at the same time.
Because considering this, right? Seattle throughout the years have had a lot of heartbreaks. Super Bowl 40, they lost 21-10. They probably should have won the game. Not gonna lie, as a Steelers fan, the refs definitely helped them. It was a heartbreaking game. You win the Super Bowl in 2013. Probably one of the greatest team performances ever. And then you get the Super Bowl 49. One of the most heartbreaking losses you'll ever see for a team.
Yep.
And then, as Rod mentioned before, Seattle Mariners. LCS.
And 2025.
Lost in Game 7. The city of Boston is privileged. I'll say that. They've seen the Red Sox win. They've seen the Bruins win. They've seen New England win. What team am I forgetting?
They just saw the Celtics win 2 years ago.
Yeah, they saw the Celtics win in 08 and 24. This has got to be Seattle. Because considering the fact that they don't even have a basketball team, their baseball team lost the year before, Seattle, the last time they were even in a Super Bowl, they lost one of the biggest heartbreaking games of all time. It's got for me, it's got to be Seattle. It has to be.
It's got to be Seattle, because like what Kieran mentioned, I briefly mentioned this in at least me and Kieran's lifetime. The city of Boston has won 12 pro sports championships.
Mm.
And I'm not even including the New England Revolution because they haven't won anything. But yeah, the Patriots have won 6 Super Bowls. The Red Sox have won 3 World Series. The Bruins have won a Stanley Cup. The Celtics have won an NBA Finals. They've also been to, I think, fucking 20.
They've been to like 5 since 2000.
They've been to like 20 championships, over 20 championships, if we're being honest, at least in me and Kieran's lifetime. Seattle. I mean, you talk about the heartbreak. You got Super Bowl 49. You got the Sonics leaving to Oklahoma City. And last summer, they had to watch their former team. They're probably somewhat excited, but they had to watch their former team win a championship this past summer in the Oklahoma City Thunder. 2025 ALCS, they were up 4 runs?
Yeah.
Like into the top 8th inning, or the bottom of the 8th, or the bottom of the 7th inning. Literally 6th, or no, it was the 8th. I forget. But anyway, they were like 6 to 9 outs away from their first World Series, and it crumbled apart.
Yeah.
And it means so much more to them because the Patriots, 7th Super Bowl. While with, okay, sorry. Yeah. 7th Super Bowl. That means that we're the most. But there is something special, because I can mention this as an Eagles fan. The fact that both of the Eagles Super Bowls were based on revenge. They got their lick back. Super Bowl 52, they got their lick back from the Patriots about Super Bowl 39. Last year, they got their lick back for Super Bowl 57. So for Seattle, it would mean so much to them to get their revenge on the Patriots, knowing that they would have won the game if they ran the fucking ball.
I think the only thing that hurts, the only thing that stinks is that it's not against the same quarterback. Because at least with the Eagles, at least it was the same quarterback they got their whip back with. Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. It's just Seattle's got to win it, man.
Because they talked about it with Seattle's GM. He is the first GM in I think NFL history to be with the same team, to go to the Super Bowl twice with 2 completely different rosters.
That's crazy.
Because not a single person from that Super Bowl 49 roster is on this current Seahawks roster.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's right.
Damn, we're getting old, man.
And it's quite ironic, if I can intervene for like 2 seconds. He built the damn team the same way. It always was centered around great offensive line play, the running game, and great defense.
Yep.
Look at Sean Alexander and that Seahawks team that went to the Super Bowl. Look at Beast Mode and that Super Bowl team. Now look at this one. It's the same formula.
And if you really think about it, when you bring up the defensive side of the ball, it's having a star-studded secondary, and then just having a pass rush that just do the dirty work and just get after it. So you pretty much right. It's pretty much built on the same kind of timeline, the same kind of construction.
It's also funny. It's also funny how you mention it. Like, you look at the teams, they're kind of similar. Like, obviously, there's minor differences, but Sam Darnold, he's not a great quarterback, but he's a good one. He's reliable. Russell Wilson was a second-year player when they won their first Super Bowl. He wasn't Russell Wilson yet, but he was a good quarterback, right? And then you have Kenneth Walker and Marshawn Lynch. Obviously, Marshawn is better, but K9's a really good running back. Then you look at the O-lines. They obviously have the problems. The interior is not that great, but the tackles are really good. And then you get to the defense. The crazy thing about this is Pete Carroll did the same exact way what Seattle's doing right now. They hit on late picks in the draft, and they also trade for defensive players. They trade for Michael Bennett. They trade for DeMarcus Lawrence. They drafted Richard Sherman. They drafted Nick. I forget his name. amend something.
Well, they drafted Devin Witherspoon and Nick Emenwari.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's crazy how they literally did the same exact formula, and it's working out the exact same way.
But if we are going to talk about a guy that I feel bad for, it's got to be Tyler Lockett.
Oh,
because he was drafted in between last two. He was drafted in that 2015 NFL draft after Super Bowl 49. He finally leaves Seattle after what?
11 years, 10 years.
After 11 years, 10, 11 years. And Seattle's going back to the Super Bowl.
Damn. Talk about that'll give you so
it's crazy. He was drafted and got the peak. I guess if you want to say the peak Russell Wilson years, he got the peak Russell Wilson years, but they didn't win a championship.
Made it to an NFC championship.
Like the most unfortunate, like
exactly.
The Legion of Boom. It's so crazy how they like folded, right? Because like you expected them to at least like be there for way longer, but it only lasted 4 years, 4 or 5 years,
if that.
Like they were like most of them were drafted 2010, 2011, and then from 2012 to 16, that was their window. It's crazy, and they all were in 30.
Just think had they won that second Super Bowl, because that second Super Bowl you hear it like when Richard Sherman talked about it, when Marshawn Lynch talked about it. I'm pretty sure Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor talked about it. It's almost like the mood soured after that Super Bowl, just because Pete Carroll didn't want to give Marshawn Lynch the ball. He wanted to make he wanted to put Russell Wilson out there for everybody to see, making a game-winning play. And it's almost like the mood soured from the defensive side of the ball. It's like, you have Marshawn Lynch right here who was destroying New England's rush defense. Just give him the ball. You're at the 1. New England's giving you no reason to think that they could stop him on the 1-yard line. Just give it to him.
And like the thing is, like, if you like, I don't think people remember that game. Like, really, Russ only threw 21 times.
Yeah,
he completed 11 of his passes. Like, the reason why, like, the only reason they were really in that game at all, like in that position, if it wasn't for Jermaine Kearse's YOLO catch, like,
right,
like you gotta run the ball there. I don't care what the statistics says. I don't care if like they've ran that play during the regular season. You gotta run the ball, especially Marshawn Lynch, who's been the most dominant pure running back, pure rusher the entire year. Give him the ball.
I also don't want to clown on this dude, because then he had a really bad career-ending injury the year after. But like, you look at their receiving core, they had Doug Baldwin in that game, they had Jermaine Kearse in that game, 2 very strong physical receivers. And out of all the people to choose to throw a slant to, you choose Ricardo Lockett.
That's nasty work right there. That is nasty as hell.
And then to make it even worse, you call the one play that Malcolm Butler deciphers on the spot, knows exactly where they're going, jumps the route, bam, ball game.
I still think the funniest Malcolm Butler play, well, I think the stupidest thing is that he barely played in Super Bowl 52. But if we're going to talk about the funniest Malcolm Butler moment, it's got to be when Taylor Gabriel, one of the shortest wide receivers in the NFL, crossed his ankles up.
I remember that was Taylor Gabriel was like a godsend for like 2 years for that offense, and I saw that route. That route was
shout out Matt Ryan, man.
Went to Atlanta.
Oh, that route was disgusting,
man. But yeah, this should be I'm excited for this week.
Really fun, but also like when you look at next year, there's 9 international games. Did y'all know that?
Yes, indeed.
We also know that we're probably getting 18 games next year.
Oh God.
Oh my Lord! I hope we got 17 a team is fine. We don't need an extra game.
Dude, I was fine with 16.
I was great. Yeah, I was great with 16.
16 was great.
16 was perfect.
17 in the theory.
It's all business at this point. It's just like,
I know.
And look, I'm gonna just be real. The real reason why they have 18 games, because you can best believe, and I hate to say it like this, the owners were bitching about that one-off game that they were not going to have at their home stadium.
course.
And all of these new stadiums are popping up everywhere. I'm like, look, I just built this big ass stadium. I need people in here an even amount of times.
But
Whether
it's
they
also like it's gonna make this whole because y'all know me. I've done like uh scenario videos, whether it's college football or NFL, NBA, all this shit, right? It's gonna make it a hell of a lot more complicated knowing that they're going to an even number of games because with an odd number, it's at least easier to kind of break down the tiebreakers. But now
Right.
they're going back to an even number. But also, I just want to get back to international games for a second. So you got 3 in London, Madrid. They just finalized the contract to extend out there. Melbourne, Australia. That's a new location. They're going back to Mexico City. With Germany, they flip every year between Munich and Berlin. So this past year it was Berlin. This year it's back in Munich. The New Orleans Saints will host the first NFL game in Paris, France, as Stade de France, which I'm honestly surprised that they didn't do Parc des Princes, home of PSG. But you know, also another big thing that I didn't see until right now. The Brazil game has actually switched locations to an even worse location for the freaking athletes because it was in Sao Paulo, which is already a shitty situation for player safety. They're now going to an even worse location, Rio.
Rio. Mm.
that's because of the I'm
Rio,
not,
a city where
I'm not trying to
they
sound
tell you
ignorant as
not to
hell, but I
stop
gotta
at
ask
any
y'all.
of the traffic lights because you're gonna get your car robbed.
Okay, yeah, because of the crime. I was like, okay.
They tell you not to stop at any of the traffic lights in Rio because that's how bad the crime is there.
Damn, I thought it was cool after they made that movie about that bird. Damn, guess I was wrong. I'm just joking, but I mean, plus you got to worry about them damn players and shit like that. So
That's what I'm saying.
I
It's
never
an
venture it
even
off.
worse situation for their safety.
Hey, look, NFL, y'all got to get it together, man. So y'all got to get it all the way together because that is ridiculous. If you're gonna have it somewhere, at least have it in one of the little one of the glamour cities. So, uh, gotta ask y'all this question, man, because I enjoyed letting y'all cook the majority of the time. I gotta ask y'all this question. Hey, which team is just really because if you really look at both of these teams, both of them have a shit ton of salary cap next year, and most of their team is coming back next year. Who's playing with house money today on Sunday?
That's playing with house money.
I think most people are going to say the Patriots, knowing that this is the second year of Drake May on his rookie deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
See.
got
Yeah.
it.
See.
It's
Yeah.
got to be the Patriots simply due to the fact that they haven't paid Drake May yet. But also to be fair, it could be Seattle because technically Sam Darnold is on a 1-year deal. He technically is, which was a smart decision by Seattle because if he didn't work out this year, they could just cut him. So
Yeah, now you got to pay me my money.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
money.
I think. Yeah. Honestly, I think it's when you consider whether I mean, even though Seattle was kind of already on the come up last year, you still really have to look at it in the situation. You can kind of make a case that both teams are kind of playing with house money, just from the standpoint that neither team's really expected to be here. And now that they put themselves in just this pristine situation of making it to the Super Bowl, and then after the Super Bowl, both of these teams have good salary cap space to get better. So it's like they're kind of both in a really good situation. I think you have to lean a little more towards the Patriots because of like how quick it's been for them to kind of build back up and get back to this point. Because I was like one of the few people that was like, and Champ will tell you this, Flash will probably tell you this, and Flash is a Patriots fan. We were trying to we were giving like our surprise teams for like for the season coming up, and I said the Patriots. Like I wouldn't expect them to be like a 2 seed in the AFC, but I was like, you know what, with Mike
I said
Vrabel,
that too.
yeah, like I wouldn't expect them to be a 2 seed, but I was like, you know what, this team.
I said they win
I
7
think that
games.
yeah, I thought this team. I was thinking this team was gonna be like second best team in the AFC East behind Buffalo. Like, I mean, I just felt like with Mike Vrabel, he was gonna kind of bring everything together, and they kind of had the pieces already there. And then next thing you know, I don't think nobody was counting on Drake May to take this kind of leap. I mean, we were expecting him to get better, but not MVP candidate, playing like for the regular season, playing like a top 5 quarterback. We weren't expecting that at all. And I think that just sped up the process as far as like the franchise being where they're at now. So I think it's a little more towards the Patriots because we wouldn't expect them to get this good this fast. But still, I think you can make a case for both teams. They're both in a really good situation getting to the Super Bowl. Not a lot of people picking them to get there. And then you can just build off of next year with the money you're going to have. So I think they're both in a good situation.
The one thing I'll say is that they don't have to pay Drake May next year, which is way better with Seattle because I think if Seattle wins the Super Bowl, Sam Darnold is going to want that money.
Absolutely.
I looked it up. He's on a 3-year deal.
Well, if you look at the contract, it's not like fully guaranteed.
Yeah,
they could technically cut him after the first year. So.
Yeah, I think it's like Kieran said. I think it's got opt outs. Like if they had a really bad year, he had opt outs. Like if they had a really really bad year, they could have been like, we're not gonna put this option in you. We're gonna let you go. But yeah, you're kind of like in a situation now where it's like it would be stupid to try to change quarterbacks. Now, as good as he's played this year and the way he's looking right now, it'd be stupid to try to change quarterbacks. You're gonna have to give him the money.
Now, I will say this. Usually, the one thing I don't want to happen, especially to Sam Darnold, is that when quarterbacks usually get a lot of money, they stop playing well. It happens a lot of times. I don't know what goes on. They're like, man, I'm set for life. I'm 28 years old. I don't have to work ever again after I play football. I could just I don't know. Hopefully Sam Darnold's not one of those people. Hopefully.
Dude, I have not paid attention to Twitter at all today for all the coaching changes.
Yeah. It's been a long 2 weeks.
We're going to cover that this coming Sunday.
So
we're going to cover that this coming Sunday when we get flashback.
Well, I will tell you this while we were doing this show. I don't know who this guy is, but the Cleveland Browns are hiring Travis Switzer as their offensive coordinator, and he was the Ravens run game coordinator.
Okay.
Well, Raheem Morris is the new San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator.
I don't think that's terrible.
I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's he's not like a great defensive coordinator, but he's a good defensive mind. And I mean him and Kyle Shanahan, obvious connections. So it makes sense for him.
I just think like with Raheem Morris, like they'll get Nick Bosa and Fred Warner back. So it could work,
Maybe. Weaver back to Baltimore to be their DC. Gus Bradley, talk about a dude that I haven't heard from in years. He's the new Titans defensive coordinator.
That's a good move.
I like that for Tennessee.
I like Gus.
That's a good move.
And then Davis Webb was promoted to offensive coordinator for the Broncos.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So
damn, the Packers named Jonathan Gannon their DC today too.
That's a good move. That is a great move.
Yeah,
Jonathan Gannon going to the Packers is a great move.
Yeah, it's
good for the first 3 quarters, and yes, I speak from personal experience.
Yeah, I know, like I'm in a Falcons Discord, and one of our speaking of Australia, one of my guys in the Discord, shout out the Atlanta Falcons Network Discord. One of the guys in there is actually from Australia, and he's a Falcons fan. But he's an Alabama fan too, so he was talking about he's talking about the Tommy Rees hire, us bringing him in as the OC, and then we got Alex Van Pelt as our new quarterbacks coach. I actually kind of like the Alex Van Pelt hire as a quarterbacks coach, just to kind of see what he can do with Mike if Mike's gonna get healthy, because the reports are just coming in like he might actually be ready for week 1, which is crazy. That's gonna be interesting. Because when they restructured Kurt, I was like, as soon as I heard the restructure, I'm like, yeah, he's gone. Yeah, he's gone. If he's come back, it's definitely gonna be a smaller contract. They're not paying him. They're not guaranteeing him no $67.9 million. They ain't about to do that.
Damn, I didn't see that Eugenio Suarez went to the Reds.
He went back to Cincy?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, Broad. Speaking of the Mariners, they acquired Brendan Donovan today.
I just looked at
You saw that?
Mm-hmm.
That was that I because like in my baseball videos, I was already picking the Mariners to win the West. I think they might run away with that division. I think they are loaded.
Well, I'm pissed off at my team because the cheap bastard known as Dave Dombrowski hasn't done shit with. He's being cheap when it's not his money.
That was a good move bringing Schwarber back. I did like that for y'all.
Right, but then you let the
But then you
Schmet,
let Ranger Suarez go.
and then you let the Schmet steal Bo Bichette from under our necks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But look, we had a baseball show, which, hey, I'm going to just be honest, Flash and BRF, they cook on the show. We're going to bring you back in order to talk about your Phillies. And we will welcome you back as well, Kieran. But on that note, man, we got to close it out tonight, man. Look, thank our very, very special guest, Kieran and Broad Sports, in order to join us, man. You cannot replace a Flash. But if you're going to bring two guys on the show to fill in for them, you got to bring Broad. You got to bring two of the smartest gentlemen ever in modern day sports, man. Look, go and check out Broad's commentary on the high school games. He does a hell of a job on those games. And go and check out Kieran.
Speaking of that,
Go ahead.
I am actually going to be doing the Philly Public League Championships for basketball men's and women's Sunday, February 22nd. It's going to be played at LaSalle University.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good. And look, go
That's
look.
right there.
He has the perfect voice for commentary. Trust me when I say that. He has the perfect voice for commentary.
PPL, one of the most underappreciated leagues in the country. I mean, you look at the talent that's come out of there. Obviously, everyone's going to talk about Coach Andre Noble and Imhotep. But, I mean, I had the luxury to look at Shayla Smith, who's the all-time leading scorer in not just Artery Charter history, but the city of Philadelphia history, with over 2,500 points in her career, where she led the Rockets to 4 straight public league titles, 2 District 12 titles. And, I mean, you look at even some of the greatest talent. I mean, Justin Edwards with the Sixers. He came out of Imhotep. You got Rasheed Wallace coming out from the Bulldogs of Simon Gratz. You got Dawn Staley, who's a Merle Dobbins Mustang. The PPL, the Philly Public League, they are one of the most underrated leagues in the country because everyone loves. Because obviously, I went to a Catholic high school. I went to Archbishop Carroll. I played in the Philadelphia Catholic League, one of the best leagues in the country for majority of sports. I went in the year after Derek Jones graduated from Carroll, but I mean, I've seen some of like the craziest dudes. I saw Colin Gillespie when he was in high school. Demir Crosby Roundtree, known as Dada Quade Green, Tony Carr, Lamar Stevens when they were at Roman. There's so much talent within the PCL and in the PPL.
And so I got an announcement for Dog Mondays. We're starting a trivia show. It's basically a game show. It's kind of like you basically answer trivia questions, and whoever gets the most trivia questions right, you win. We just had a special TikToker on previous episode. It was pretty cool. We're hoping to get someone in our chat, our Instagram group chat, to get on there. So look out for that. But yeah, pleasure to be here. It was fun. Always love talking to Champ, Rod, and BRF. It's always fun.
BRF.
Oh, you Champ, you already know, man. Yeah, shout out to our homie Flash. I know he ain't feeling too well. Hope you get well soon.
Feel better, Flash.
Yeah, definitely feel better, man. Ready to get you back. But I tell you what, man, to be able to finally land Broad on the UGSP was freaking awesome. And then to top it off with the homie Kieran. I mean, you can't beat it, man. You can't beat it, man. I've had a like being in the chat with these two, man. I always have a blast talking sports with them, just talking life in general with them. They're always great to talk to. So it was a pleasure having them both on. And Champ, you my brother from another mother. You know how I feel about you, man. It's always a pleasure to get on here and talk with you. Just a couple. I've been making a little more content as of late, so I don't always get to make announcements, but I am gonna like I said, if you haven't seen the Keys to Victory Super Bowl 60, the video for that, please check that out. I'm also still doing my round of the MLB divisional previews. I just put out my first one for the National League side. I did the West. I got the NL Central script ready to roll. I'm going to put that video out in the next couple of days, and then I'll get my script down as well for the National League. Then I'll have that series done. So if y'all ain't checked that out, please do so. I finally got a program that I can actually make some of this actually look professional. So I'm actually kind of been pumping it out, using it as of late, and it actually is working pretty good. So it's good when you finally have the proper technology to be able to do good videos. So shout out to my fellas that have been looking out for me and getting me right and get me in a good place. So, but yeah, man, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to get on here, and I can't leave without my slogan, baby. The topic I thought about is the topic I thought about.
Yes, indeed. And on that note, shout out to my main man Flash up there in Wisconsin. We miss you, my guy.
But
Make it back this Sunday. We'll make it back next Monday. We will be doing a post Super Bowl show next
that'll be
Monday.
fun.
And then look, the week after that, baseball. Baseball. And if you know anything about this group, I'm the homer that it's if it don't concern the Braves, I really don't give a damn about it. But the man to my right, your left, he has knowledge about baseball. I know Broad Sports does, and I know Kieran does. But when we put him and Flash together, I don't say 2 words the entire show. I might have said, no, I'm serious. I don't
Yeah.
say 2 words the entire show. I'm like, I sit back and I drink my water and I press these buttons and I let them cook. So yeah. But on that note, we will holler at y'all. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Salute.